Dumelangi, Sambanan, and welcome to the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network Channel 500 on Star Set. To all our Facebook viewers, we see you too. We really do appreciate all the love and support that we're getting. Do for us on all our social media platforms. It is Galaxy Universal Network. We'd like you to engage with us on what your thoughts are on all the stories that we are covering today. RORISANG, and of course, I am never alone. I am with Mr. Voice himself, Harmony MBELE.
Well, thank you very much, RORISANG, for that beautiful intro. But you are watching Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network on Star Set Channel 500. As always, we bring you all the latest news and headlines and everything that has been developing throughout the day, because we are Midday Express, bringing you all that spice, all those news and everything that needs to happen throughout the world. But let's take a look at our leading headlines.
Yes, now as we look at today's leading headlines, our matriculants are getting ready for exams.
And we're looking at schools in Soweto going digital.
I am so excited about that story, I must say. In our African story, Zimbabwean teachers are demanding a pay rise. And in
our international stories, rather, the 6th anniversary of disappearance of students in Mexico. They're protesting because students went missing 6 years ago. Sure. And it's been brought up in 2020. Justice needs to be served, and they're trying to find out what is happening. That story we'll get into later on. I love how
arrests were made there, but we'll get into that story just a little bit later. And then obviously we are joined today by MATOME, who is a motivational speaker and an author right there, who's going to be telling us about his amazing work that he does.
And besides that, it's Monday motivation. I think midday people need that oomph, that resilience, that power. And that says, I mean, for you to write a book, there has to be a story.
Exactly.
There has to be a story.
I think more than anything, we need to just hear that story, you know. And I feel like the question that's always asked is, what motivates a motivational speaker? It's always that question that people ask. But
do you have an answer for that? Why?
We'll ask him and get a
don't you?
I'm not a motivational speaker.
Says who?
Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Now, as we move and look at today's leading stories now, as the Department of Basic Education is continuing with its visits to schools, the Director General Herbert Mweli visited Hazy View Comprehensive School in Mpumalanga Province right there. And
as learners have been working 7 days a week to catch up with the curriculum for final exams, Mweli spoke at the virtual role that teachers play in making sure that the student can confront any challenges that they are faced with within schooling facilities. But let's take a look at that.
Have been able to restore in you in terms of education. If you are not confident that you'll make it, you wouldn't be here. I've listened to learners. I was in the Northwest yesterday. Some of them said we had given up hope. We thought that all is over. We've lost 2020, but they said because of these men and women, today we are ready to get into the exam room and we will face the exam room with confidence. That's what Lena said to me yesterday in the Northwest. The week before that, I was in the Free State. The week before that, I was in Gauteng, in Tswane-South. They said the same thing. So teachers can instill in you the ability to confront, or the confidence, the courage to confront the challenges that are at hand. That's what teachers are able to do. And I want you to join me in putting your hands together by way of saying thank you to these teachers who've been providing support to you, who've been teaching you on Saturday, teaching you on Sunday, teaching you Monday to Friday, sometimes early, sometimes after school. Give a big hand of applause for them. After all, had it not been of teachers, I wouldn't be standing in front of you. I would be part of the numbers that got lost in the system. Teachers gave me a beacon of hope that in life I can achieve something. I really want to say thank you very much to teachers. Quickly.
Now, as we know now, as we even know that the MEC Upanyaza Lucifer right there says that matric examinations will start on November the 5th. And will run through to December the 15th, and while marking will take place from January the 14th to the 22nd of January there in 2021. So we actually see that things that have been stretched out to make sure that you get the matriculants still writing the exams and making sure that the curriculum is still plays out.
But there is something that he said, where he said that the paper that was fixed 18 months ago for the matriculants this year will still be written the same way. Nothing is going to be changed. So where did the education part take place during COVID-19?
But then, like, you know, in Keronachi, they're going back and bits and pieces, and now we can actually see that they're actually going for a 7-day week.
But this is me playing the devil's advocate, saying that then the learners that did not have access to schools could not go to schools, that didn't have textbooks. What are they going to write? What
is it not underway right now? How many are they not being taught right now to make sure that they are well prepared for the exam?
Is it enough?
But at the end of the
7 days, is it enough to write a paper that probably you and I wrote a few years back, like going to school Monday to Friday and making sure there was a teacher in front of you? But is it enough for 2020 matriculants to write the exam papers the very same way that we did, with nothing being adjusted to it?
But then measures have been put in place. I feel like as much as we can complain and say we weren't prepared enough and whatever happened, at the end of the day, it's up to the matriculants to take it upon themselves and, you know, to actually study. At the end of the day, they shouldn't come back and say COVID-19 happened and stuff like that. I really think each individual needs to take initiative to actually make sure they study, make sure that they pass their matric year. Unfortunately, they can't go back and blame the government or COVID-19 that happened. At the end of the day, if you're an individual, if you really want to pass and you want to see yourself go to tertiary, do the best that you can. I mean, like they say, like the teachers have been working tirelessly as well to make sure that they make the kids can actually now face the challenges that they faced with.
But I think within me playing the devil's advocate, there's also the good part about it, where he said that even the learners that have dropped out of matric because of what had happened, they're going to try and retrace them back into the schooling system. But it's also good, but the devil advocate in me is still saying that how?
Get it, but at the end of the day, like we individuals, at the end of the day, we can't keep blaming people. I'm also playing devil. We can't keep blaming people for not progressing and advancing in time. So hey, let's do what you can. All the best, all the matriculants. Do the best that you can, and we've got you. You can do this. You really can do it. That's just my take on that matter. Harmony. And now just looking at going back to school as well, just moving on into looking at what the MEC Panyazalu Sufi said there. He also mentioned that adhering to social distancing, the department has approached now various other venues and employed around 12,000 invigilators for the exam process that's going to be taking place right there. And then also how many here's the answer. They said that a 2-week camp for matriculants has been arranged to prepare them for the 2020 final exams. So measures have been put in place. I'm just saying.
Is every learner going though?
Hey. Yeah, the devil's advocate. I see.
But as we continue with the stories.
As we continue with our stories. And now, following the announcement of a level 1 lockdown, the Department of Basic Education has requested teachers who were working from home to report to work this week. But some of the teachers have raised the concerns regarding their safety.
And teachers with the underlying conditions have said that they are worried that they might contract to the COVID-19 pandemic, as the department did not put in place extra measures to protect them as the staff.
Now, some teachers also have said that they are scared, but they don't have a solution. But as now, unfortunately, that they actually do need the money.
Yeah, and with that being said, the DBE spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga said that the department has signed an agreement with the unions that teachers with the underlying comorbidities would be granted concessions to work from home during the lockdown level 3 and 2. And now that it's level 1, teachers should return to work as per signed by the agreement. So we're looking at that one, and teachers are going back to school. Whether you are 60, 65, 55, you are going back to school to make sure that the learners are taught.
I feel like I'm just, not on anyone's side today, but I feel like life needs to move on, unfortunately. Life needs to move on.
And
they can't always be staying at home. But then again, I think you need to understand where they come from. I mean, anyone with underlying conditions, health conditions, could be scared that they could still contract the COVID-19. It's still there, unfortunately, even though we see the recovery rate is increasing and in good standing. But
I agree with you. Funny enough, I agree with you, because I think that even our teachers need to have the kind of responsibility that the learners have in terms of going to school, wanting that attitude of being taught, of being learning, and they just have to really grow up. I guess it's just that thing where we understand that you're old, we understand that there are so many underlying conditions that you could be facing as a teacher, but when you sanitize, keep your social distancing, wear your mask at all times, and when you're teaching, make sure that you're teaching a group that you as an educator, you're comfortable with, instead of just staying at home and sending the workload to the schools and with no one to teach the learners.
Yeah. Now, as we move into the next story, I think I'm just going to introduce it briefly.
Yeah.
We're going to come back actually with an interview with a Hawks spokesperson who's going to tell us a little bit more on the matter. I think it's one story that has been trending throughout. Now, as we know, like 10 women from an alleged human trafficking ring have been rescued in Rustenburg, the Northwest, and Kuruman in the Northern Cape. And now 5 suspects have been arrested. Now, I'm just going to hold it there.
I want to know.
We're going to know more about it just after the break when we talk to the Hawks spokesperson, or Mr. MOTLOUTSI, who's actually going to tell us a little bit more. But what transpired, I think, more than anything, I just want to know, it's been an investigation that has been going on for a whole year now. I just want to know what led to the arrest and, you know, during that process, what actually happened.
And I think before we get into that, I think my last sentiments before we go to the ad break is that actually our Hawks, our police servicemen are actually doing their job. At some points, we really should admire and clap hands when they are really stepping up and saying that we'll resolve cases. We might not resolve all of them in the amount of time that you expect us to, but somehow we do get the job done.
And actually, I feel like with this one, it's a big one. Human trafficking, like we've seen, has been making rounds through our social media right now. We've been hearing so many stories for the last couple of days. So to actually have such a bust come in place, I must say, like you said, is actually a breakthrough. But stay tuned right here on the Midday Express as we continue with our stories. Don't you go anywhere.
Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in 4th Industrial Revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
China saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite, because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations.
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations.
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Chicken portions are an easy way to feed a crowd.
I've just started to incorporate all my ingredients.
We're going to put this inside of a hot cast iron skillet.
You want to really fill up on great protein.
It's now time to sample the chef's dish. Look at this.
I know.
Like that.
Feel the excitement.
The chicken is on the spot.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat.
And welcome back from the ad break. You're still watching Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network. As always, we give you all the latest news and headlines. And unfortunately, there is something that might just trigger you and say, I wanted to know what happened. We also want to know, but we'll tell you just now. Let's take a look at our next story, RORISANG.
Yes, so now with the story we touched on briefly before the break, now 10 women from an alleged human trafficking ring have been rescued in Rustenburg in the northwest and Kurman in the Northern Cape, and 5 suspects have been arrested.
And the women who were rescued and reportedly from different parts of South Africa and other various African countries. Some women are from Limpopo, while the others are from Lesotho, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Zambia.
And Hawks spokesperson Brigadier Hangwani Mlaudzi said that the women were trafficked and used as sex slaves in brothels that were disguised as B&Bs, and the women were then made to pay rent while working there. And now, unfortunately, we tried to get a hold of Brigadier Hangwani right there just to tell us a little bit more on the matter. Unfortunately, we just missed him a bit right there. But just talking, like we said before the break, on light on human trafficking, it's quite sad that we have something like this that's been happening. And for the mere fact that it's an investigation that's been happening for a year just shows how long this has been happening. It's not necessarily mean that it's something that happened now. It's been happening, and
and I think, and another thing that and the reason why I said that, I think the disappointment comes in because we all wanted to find these answers. We all had these questions to ask the Hawk spokesperson and be like, what has been happening in a year? What really has transpired? What has led to the bust of the brothels being found? Is it the people within the community? Was it you guys investigating? Because even community members do play a role in it. And to find human trafficking existing in 2020 and being able to understand that it's women from South Africa, Africa at large. So it's hitting home.
And you know what? Another thing that I picked up in the articles that were written on the story is that now, unfortunately, it's foreign nationals that were running the ring. So now it goes back to saying, are we going to see another rise in calls of South Africans actually now saying and calling out for foreign nationals to actually go back to their countries, because it's quite unfortunate that if there's a large group or a specific group of foreign nationals who are going to be involved in human trafficking, and now it just paints every foreign national in a bad light, and now makes South Africans call out for them to actually go back home.
But I think let's look at it in this context. So just this past week, we had South Africans calling for Nigerians to leave South Africa because of the drug and how they are using women in the African continent, rather, even in South Africa. Yet here again, we are reading about men on the African continent again, foreign nationals coming into South Africa and kidnapping women in South Africa. Then does this, and we're having a conversation with Ukoko Tusi, who does our Zulu news here at Galaxy, that he said to me, rather, Harmony, don't you think this is going to spark the conversation of xenophobia again? So I think we're at that bridge where what should happen with us, our African brothers and sisters, then how do we stop this?
But my question is it xenophobic when you are trying to fight for your own, trying to fight for your country to make sure that it's in good standing? Because, like, I think it's just South Africans crying for their country, crying for their people, so that they are safe in their own country. Imagine now being scared to actually walk out, to go to the near shops, because you're not sure what might happen to you at the end of the day. So it's quite sad to be scared as a woman in your own country, to be made feel uncomfortable.
And I love how this conversation is not even about Africa or African men or foreigners in South Africa, so we call them, but it's even about us, people living in South Africa, to call out those that we know who are Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Pedi, who are from Lesotho, who are from Krugersdorp, who are from any province in South Africa. Let's stop just calling out our African brothers. Let us call each other ourselves out and be like, this is abuse, this is human trafficking, this should not be done in the context of the law. And let's just stop choosing whom we are calling out, but let's call out everyone.
And it's just, as we just wrap up the story, we know now that the females now, or the victims to this, were actually now put in safe places. The Hawks worked hand in hand with the Department of Social Development to make sure that they're put in safe places. Another question that I must say I had is that, knowing that prostitution or sex work is actually now illegal in South Africa, what does it mean that these victims were actually now, unfortunately, being in the act, in the act of doing this? Does it mean also will they be implicated as well, even though it was against their own will to actually do what they did? So I guess it's just questions that we just would like to get answers to, and
but we'll have him definitely. But he will definitely be on the show, and we'll later have this conversation with him. But as we take a look at our African stories on the continent.
Now, looking at our African stories now, Zimbabwe's teachers have put their tools down as schools reopen today. And the
Zimbabwe's Teachers Union say none of its members will return to work until demands are met. They are demanding a COVID-19 allowance and a pay rise, and this is yet another incident of protesting against COVID-19 conditions in the country. Now,
Zimbabwe's biggest teachers union said that its members today would not return to work for the first time since the closure of schools in March unless they are paid a COVID-19 allowance and given a pay rise.
And the government shut schools in March in a bid to prevent the spread of coronavirus, which has infected more than 7,000 people and led to more than 200 deaths in the continent.
Now, more schools were expected to commence today, although only 4 students sitting for their final exams.
And according to the Zimbabwean Teachers Association, teachers are now demanding a pay hike of a minimum of $520 compared to the $4,000 Zimbabwe dollars that they are receiving, that teachers get paid every month.
Yeah,
and this one is a hard one, absolutely, knowing that I think COVID-19 allowance, how's that being put onto a salary that they already have?
I think that's where we really just need to get more clarity on what it is that they want. A COVID-19 allowance, or is it a pay rise in the actual
salaries
as well? You know, like maybe it's also a cry. I mean, we know that COVID-19 has hit, unfortunately, the world as a whole very badly, and now it's like they need actually some form of compensation, I guess, going back to work now with months of not March. They've been closed since March, and now going back now. I mean, you know, they've got livelihoods as well that they need to sustain.
But does that mean at the stage of kids? Because these are learners, and if you are wanting an allowance, then kids too get an allowance for coming to school. I mean, if teachers themselves teaching have an allowance, then the security guards at school also need an allowance because they're coming in COVID-19. The receptionists at school will also need an allowance because they're going to be working in that environment of COVID-19. It's not only just teachers.
We get that, but it's teachers associations. I mean, if maybe you signed under a teachers association as well, maybe your rights could be met as well. So I guess it's one of those that unfold, and we'll just follow up on it and just see how it all goes down.
Absolutely, but do catch this conversation continuing right after this quick commercial break. The Midday Express team will be back after this.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations.
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Chicken portions are an easy way to feed a crowd.
I've just started to incorporate all my ingredients.
We're going to put this inside of a hot cast iron skillet.
You want to really fill up on great protein.
It's now time to sample the chef's dish. Look at this.
I know.
Like that?
Feel the excitement.
The chicken is on the spot.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful! This is exactly what I was looking for! DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you know, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Hold on. To make it through this journey alive, you're gonna need someone to teach you the ninja way.
Don't just stand there, kill someone!
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat.
China's saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with StarSat.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud.
Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Feel the heat.
You said you love me.
I do.
Sure. Yeah.
Leave my house right now. Oh, no, you don't. Get out of my way. Get out.
That is an abomination.
Oh, the love you promised me.
Do you have a boyfriend? Yeah?
Feel the excitement.
You don't know how I've been longing for this.
Feel the heat with StarSat.
The day will come when these measures are no longer needed. Until then, however, we must ensure that all our people receive adequate support. We look ahead to a better future. I have faith in the strength and the resilience of ordinary South Africans who have proven time and time again throughout our history that they can rise to any challenge that is presented to our country. We shall recover. We shall overcome.
Welcome back to the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, channel 500 on StarSat. I will be conversing with us on all our social media platforms. It is Galaxy Universal Network. We love to hear your comments on all the stories that we have for you right here. Now, today, as you can see right now, our special features as well. We always have a special feature where we bring you all the inspirational people actually going to tell us about their story. We are joined today in studio by MATOME.
Yes.
Yes. This is MATOME.
Hey. I'm a Xhosa brother. So it might just be MATOME.
Please tell us maybe how do we say it?
MATOME.
Yeah. Where are you from, MATOME?
I'm from a village called Hamachi. It's in Bolobedi, in Tsanin.
Tsanin. Yeah. Okay,
right,
interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that a little bit more. Let's just cover just this one story. I think this one, I love
good news. When I told you, you miss good news.
I miss good news.
Imagine why don't I tell
man,
I'm supposed to say that.
But as we look at now, we have actually Soweto schools going digital. Now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga today received COVID-19 essentials and a consignment of ICT equipment as part of a donation from the Portuguese embassy. Now.
Yeah.
Want to continue? Continue how many
And schools in Soweto from Protea Glen were visited, which included Itumecheng Primary School and Protea Glen Secondary School, and the MEC had this to say.
While also ensuring that all precautions are taken to save lives, but we also want to save their careers and save your lives whenever. It's not easy. I'm trying to be nice for us to be home. So it's not about us. We have nothing to lose, mainly, if you don't come to school. But if we lose you, lose your future, then we lose as a generation. So it's very important for us to come here, for us to come back to school, break it out. I know some have not returned, but going out to appeal to them to come back. It's also let me show you things shortcut, I use shortcut, whatever. Get the right fair about it. You must, I'm glad that the grade 12 are here. You must get your grade 12. Keep passport to life. No South Africa. Also grade 12 outstanding. I always tell people that when my daughters used to bring their ambassador boyfriend, the first thing I wanted to know, what is their future looking like? And the future to make a grade 12, if he says, hi, put to the words of idiots. Hi! What's happening at dictation? There is a dictation. And or come or pass not for that or very and 5. No money from 5 no one page but I mind 9. So feet forever again. Or going on money hustling of a kind of but hustling a paper. So I really appeal, especially this generation, to say, it's going to want a chance. But I'm also glad that you also took your time to study.
And well, there was the Minister of Basic Education speaking right there, and I think acknowledging the embassy about the good work they're doing and making sure that they are working hand in hand. And interesting fact is that they introduced Portuguese as a language at the school, and that's the reason why the Portuguese embassy is getting involved.
And I love how you actually spoke to the department yourself, you mentioned how the school is going digital.
Yes.
Like fourth industrial revolution right there in Soweto. I really love, how we are now evolutionizing everything. And I love how even with the stories that we getting these days, we have people going to the rural areas, now they are introducing coding. So
and I feel like the world, I think South Africa is waking up. I think we are now smelling the coffee that actuality, China, America, where Katleho, our Galaxy social trends anchor, he says from America, but that's questionable. But he's always talking about how great other things are happening throughout the world, and now having South Africans, saying that it's fine. Let's teach our young people coding. Let's teach them what the fourth industrial revolution is about. Probably one day we might have your book audio one day being to the learners.
No, definitely. That is coming from an IT background. I think that is amazing. I'm quite impressed. It's just that the mental shift that we need to focus on. We cannot just throw people into technology as well. There need to be some sort of transition that you transition from a human behavior point of view, how the two interact with one another. Technology and people, they're two different pills. So we need to focus also on the mindset while we are transacting in that, because it's a change, it's a big change. So people might not be ready at the time.
So I think with me, the question I've always asked myself is, we are moving into technology. Are our kids going to know how to write now? Because I really think it's a skill, right? Putting a pen on paper, it's a whole skill that actually even works on the brain. Now, if we have everything digitalized, will we even know how to write?
Yeah, that's a very interesting one, I think, but we need to, it's about adapting as well, that, whatever that you're going to do, we need to adopt with the changes that come with it. And also, it's the unfortunate thing that we need to unlearn and relearn new skills and new ways of doing things. Obviously, we cannot expect change and expect things to, you know, to be done the same way they were done previously. I think it's about accepting the change that is come, but also we need to advocate for how can we then say, to approach it in such a way that yes, they might not be able to take a pen and write down, because when I drafted my book, I had a laptop, writing on the laptop. So again, it's just a shift, you know.
I just want to, it's a shift, I get that, but it's quite important. I mean, we know technology, what if there's a glitch somewhere, everything shuts down at that time, we really need to go back and do it. I'm just playing, you know,
the devil's advocate.
And just I feel like there's just those traditional natural things like writing that still needs to be there. Like we just still need it, you know. We can't really now go all revolutionary and just forget about some basic skills, like we said. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah. But I guess you're coming from an IT background, and that's why you sound very informed about what is happening within the fourth industrial revolution. But my greatest question is, aren't us going into the fourth industrial revolution going to take away what being human is all about? There's also that, but we'll get into that before after we get into the story. And we are taking a look at our international news. The Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth, in his address at the UN and General Assembly, said that they wish to thank all the countries and the UN system which rushed to assist Mauritius during their difficult times.
Now, he did mention that the oil spill is the worst environmental disaster that Mauritius has ever had.
And he furthermore added and said that they are still assessing the damage to the mangroves and the coastal areas.
And then he also sent out a special word of thanks and gratitude to the people of Mauritius who had displayed solidarity and showed their spontaneous support that helped protect their RORISANG sites and other environmentally sensitive areas. A very good one there, as we know that oil spill hit Mauritius very, very hard. But like I always go back to a significant part where they actually even took human hair to clean up the oil in the sea, and to actually have the Prime Minister going out and saying thank you to everyone who's actually helped out really just shows that they really do appreciate all the help that they got.
And even with the dolphins that had died because of it, but I think they even have come together and the United Nations saying that it's okay, it's fine, let's find ways to work together as a nation, as the globe, to make sure that we are helping where we can. And so that was a beautiful one. Absolutely.
Very, very beautiful one indeed. Now, MATOME, let's get into it now. let's just have you on the spot right now. One thing that you mentioned, you spoke about having an IT background and all of that. Now, I want to know, you're from IT and now you are a whole author.
Yes.
Tell us about that journey of transitioning from IT into being an author now.
Well, I think it's purpose meeting passion. So I always had this, I always envisioned myself writing a book and going out there and inspiring, because I think I've got a special story, and the special story is based on lived experiences. And someone might take my story and change their life. So also, you know, without focusing on the semantics of my whole story, I think it's focusing on trying to say that don't give up in anything that you do. So I think I'm just following my passion and just my purpose, you know, to equip and inspire young people and the masses out there and across the world. I think that way it goes. You know, it was a journey, right? It was everything in life is a journey. You walk through different journeys in life. So me starting off a career in IT, it was not always my passion, but I fell in love with it because, you know, I became good at it, and I said, you know what, let me leave my legacy, and the legacy is through writing my own stories and going out there motivating and doing what I love. Because some people they tend not to follow their passion, and you know, you might be taking someone's opportunity to follow their passion because you are taking their position. So everyone in their life, they must take their own position that they can live their purpose. Me being in that position and, you know, being in IT, an environment. Yes, today I can own an organization, you know, where we offer IT services. But in that position, in that corporate, looking at there's no jobs. So I might actually place someone who needs that opportunity in that position.
Beautiful. But I think we've fast forwarded your life ahead to who you are now. But take me back to that little boy from the villages that could have probably never thought of being an author, that could have never thought that own a company that does IT, that is sourcing out, making sure that other companies are well equipped with what IT is about, information technology. But there's that nourishing thing that we'd never tell the hows of how we get successful. So take us through the hows of how everything happened and transpired in your life.
You know, fast tracking, I grew up in the villages, and I came and lived around Joburg. To be specific, I live in an area called Tembisa, and Tembisa, Rava Ridge, they call it Midrand, but it's Tembisa.
Yeah.
So being a child, I was one of those child that was disciplined, because I think I had also strict parents that molded my behavior and the respect that I had around the community and all that. There was just something about me that I cared for people. You know, regardless, I'm one of those people with a very sensitive heart. But I've tended to outgrown that sensitivity into more being conscious of what I'm sensitive about, because what it can do, it can drain you emotionally if you are overly sensitive about certain things. So me grew up, you know, wanting to help other people, and the birth of my book, if I can go into detail about that.
Dive in.
So it's a journey from grade 1 to grade 12, and I was always an average performer, call it top 10, and I always, you know, I was good in motivational speaking, I was good in public speaking, debate, and all that. But academically as well, I was okay. And I was not the smartest, but I was okay.
But you got through it.
Yeah. But come grade 12, I failed.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
Take us through that.
So it goes a bit again about me helping other people.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to introspect exactly what happened in my journey when I was in grade 12. It's either one, you're too confident, two, is either you gave your time in helping other people. So I was much more confident in myself. But I looked back and I said, was that the approach or how I was studying? You know, and also it's the studying and the application thereof. So did I apply myself when I was, you know, answering those questions? Did I over prepare? Because I did study, I did put in some hours. But it's just that
you didn't show the results at the end of the day.
Yeah, I didn't show. Or, you know, was there any shock in the process of me writing? But even after I wrote, I was confident that I made it. Right? Yeah. Come the celebration, my name is not printed on the newspaper.
What?
Yeah. So that was a shock of my life. But that was me reinventing, or me planting that seed to say that this is the purpose that I have for you. But I only realized in a later stage, but at that moment
it was failure to you.
It was failure. Hence the title of my book, Success Designed by Failure. You know, so I had to fail for me to unleash the potential that I have in me. You know, the drive in me, the hunger in me to go out there and inspire and, you know, to change the world. So that was the birth of the book.
So talking about the birth of the book, you're telling us about how you flunked in matric and stuff. So I just want you to tell us a little bit about what someone could expect in that book. Is it a recipe to making it life after you failed, or what exactly is in the book?
Let me start off by laying a basic foundation about success and failure. Those two concepts, you know, there's a relationship between the two.
Yeah.
And again, failure and success are very subjective.
Yes.
Me being here, it can be a success for me because I always wanted to be on TV.
Absolutely.
Understand?
Yes.
So for someone they want to attain or a house, you know, as an asset, for them that is a success. So for me in this book, there is a personal journey with principles and values that people can take and apply into their own life, right? Because now we don't write much of our stories and to inspire the next person. So this book is based on lived experience.
Yes.
To say that how can I learn from the next person not to repeat the very same mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, the book talks about the attributes of finances, the attributes of, you know, how well to do in a marketplace, you know how to go into level stages and
absolutely,
all that. And also making wrong and bad choices in life, and because not only failing matric was actually the end. Because I failed in the area of finance and those type of things. Then I quickly had to unlearn those things and become a better person.
Can I just, sorry.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about how failure actually is like a stepping stone in actually eventually becoming successful, right?
Yeah.
So I want us to talk about how you have put in your book how people can prevent or, you know, not make the same mistakes that you did in order to avoid some failure. But like you said, it's important in your life that it puts you where you are. So then also, now my question is it not important for anyone else to experience some form of failure in order to also reach to that success?
Not repeated failures, not something that you can learn from the other person. So it's very much important that we should share our stories, not to repeat the very same mistakes, right? So, you know, mistakes and all that are very tough lessons that everyone should learn. But what I'm saying is that, like, I can articulate few things about the case of comparison is one of the chapters in my book that I can. So that is also a mental shift where you are. So let's not look at the tangible things about mistakes. Let's look at also about the principles that you can try and apply in your own life so that you can change. Yes. You can become a better person. Because we compare with another person that no, he's driving a Mac, but you don't know the journey that they've walked right now. Because some people, after I released the book and after they've noticed that I failed my matric, is like, there's no way. There's no way. So I'm saying, because people, they envy certain things about people that they don't know about. So it's more about those things and all that. But you should make mistakes, but learn quickly. Because I took time. You understand? That's one of the things that I say in the book. I took time to accept my own failures. That resulted in me making other mistakes along the journey.
At this point, I am burning inside. It's this burning desire of speak. Tell them, because I think you've said very valid points that the degrees of comparison with someone else steals your joy as someone to celebrate in those moments. And secondly, that your cup was so full in grade 11 that you started pouring onto others till yours was empty. And when your final exams came, there was doubt, there was anxiety. So the thing of, I got this, even though your cup was empty, but you didn't realize that it was half empty at that point. But it's a beautiful one. Take me through this journey of, now here's the book. It's in front of me, and people are going to consume it. Then what is the market for the book? As much as we're talking about people that have failed, people that are trying to prevent it, people that are trying to be cautious about life, but what does it take away from you, the writer, that is writing the book itself?
I think we can look at the target market around the book. Is that particularly was when I was writing the book, my thought process was to say that my target market is the youth, because as young as I am, I want to to impart them with the knowledge and with the experience. Because I said, do I have to wait up until I'm 40 or I'm 50? But no, I could be saving someone there who needs my information, who needs my story, and all that. But the irony of that, the people that actually read my book, some of them, they're over 60. You know, I can identify Mr. Radebe, who did the foreword of my book. I mean, he's a top executive at SASO. He's now going to be the head of Vets Business School. When he read the book, he was like, no, this is an amazing product. I can also reflect my own personal journey about what you're saying, about what you're speaking. So for me, it's a product that needs to go out there, and there's no attachment that I have with this book. It's for the people to consume, right, and to start applying my journey, start understanding all that. My journey, it's part of my journey. It's part of the process that me going out there and actually unleashing my potential and unleashing my own goals and and aspirations.
I guess what I'm getting is that you can never really be too old to actually be inspired, to actually change your life around. Now, please show your book to the viewers and just to let everyone know when they can actually get a hold of a copy.
My copy is available, and I've got a website. It's www.matomemotloutsi.com. www.matomemotloutsi.com. It's a online. We are digital.
Yes.
I think when I published this book, it was, I think we're still on level 2 or level 3. So I didn't put the physical book in the stores.
Yeah.
So we are online. Everything is done online, delivery and everything like that. It's quite an easy process that you can follow, and you can read more about me. Now, people, they can also follow my Facebook handle and my Instagram and also my LinkedIn. Is MATOME MOTLOUTSI across all the platforms.
Right. Success designed by failure. Now you got it from MATOME himself. If you want to learn this recipe of how to get back up after failure to succeed, get yourself a copy of the book.
Absolutely. And I think, Rory, before we close the show, and it's something inside of me still burning to say that financial literacy is still something that we need to learn as the Black community. Young people need to learn financial literacy, and you mentioned it, and it's dawning on me that money is really something we don't know. We are not taught how to save. We're not taught how to spend. We are not taught investment. The smallest thing is, what is investment? Is save money. Save money for what? For who? For how long? Also, there are so many questions that I would have loved us to get into, but I'm really inspired. I think I've been left inspired and questioning my own journey as a young man living in South Africa and all the plans I have for being a global charter, taking over Africa and the world.
Thank you so much, MATOME. Leaving Harmony all inspired, right? We see after this, we know we're gonna see a change. We can see right there. But thank you so much for joining us right here on the Midday Express every weekday at 12 to 1. From myself, RORISANG,
and myself, MBELE,
and our amazing guest, MATOME. Catch us again, same time, same place. Goodbye.
Adios.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman. The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.